A lioness walks through the savannah with a newborn cheetah cub in her jaws. The cub is still alive, but barely moving. About 20 minutes earlier, the lioness found a cheetah den. The mother wasn't there. She'd gone out hunting. Inside the den were newborn cubs. They couldn't run. The lioness killed all of them except one. She carried that one away, and now she's a few miles from the lion's den. Meanwhile, the female cheetah returns to her den and immediately senses that something is wrong. She approaches carefully because she can tell right away that another big cat has been here very recently, a lioness. Inside the shelter, the cheetah sees her dead cubs. But then she suddenly realizes that one cub is missing. The lioness's scent trails away from the den into the savannah, carrying with it the faint smell of the living cub. The female cheetah understands one of her babies is still alive, and the lioness has taken it with her. The scent is barely there, but it's strong enough to follow. There's still time, so she decides to track it, to find the killer of her cubs. A cheetah's sense of smell is well developed, but this predator's specialty is not following an old trail. It's reading fresh information from the world around it with incredible speed. By following the scent, a cheetah can work out who passed this way not long ago. Another cheetah, potential prey, a cub, a predator, or a rival. It can tell how fresh a scent mark is. It can tell whether the animal is familiar. This matters because cheetahs actively communicate through scent. They leave urine, feces, and scent marks on trees, and other cheetahs later read that information. It works much like dogs sniffing lampposts and leaving their own marks over the marks of others. For cheetahs, those lampposts are trees, rocks, and other noticeable landmarks in their turf. But that doesn't mean a cheetah can follow a scent trail for many miles. How sensitive a cheetah's sense of smell is compared with that of lions or canids is still unknown. And so far, there's no evidence that cheetahs can find their way by scent alone. So the mother, now stripped of her cubs, chooses a different tactic. She searches for the freshest trace of the lioness, the scent left by her paws, fur, and saliva. The smell lingers even in the flattened grass. The cub, too, has left a faint trace behind, the scent of blood, milk, and moisture. Soon the female cheetah finds the place where the lioness left the den. The mother compares the signals. The scent of the lioness and the scent of the cub lead in the same direction. She understands that her baby was carried that way. She follows that direction for the first few dozen feet, but then the trail suddenly fades. She realizes the lioness has crossed onto a dry, open stretch of ground where the scent is quickly scattered by the wind. But the female cheetah doesn't rush forward trying to chase the smell. Instead, she makes a wide semicircle and picks up the scent again downwind. Now it becomes clear. The lioness isn't simply moving away from the den, she's heading toward the place where the pride usually rests. The mother has to go for a different strategy now. She no longer follows right behind the kidnapper. Instead, she cuts the corner. The female cheetah can't afford to catch up to the lioness from behind. That would lead her straight into the predator. So she moves off to the side, keeps a parallel course, and tries to circle around the lioness's flank. This gives her a chance to see the lioness before the lioness sees her. The thing is, the cheetah's famous speed is a one-time burst. A cheetah's body's built like a sprinting machine. Its flexible spine folds and stretches with every bound, making each stride incredibly long. Its semi-retractable claws grip the ground like spikes. Its lightweight body accelerates quickly, while its large nostrils, lungs, and heart sharply increase the flow of oxygen. But all of this can only work for a very short time. During acceleration, the muscles burn through energy faster than the body can steadily replace it. Breathing becomes rapid. The heart pumps blood more intensely, and the whole body works at its limit. After a sprint like that, the cheetah needs time to catch its breath, let its muscles recover, and be ready to explode into speed again. If the female cheetah charges now, she'll burn through her most important reserve of speed just to close the distance. She might catch up to the lioness already exhausted. And against an opponent like that, a tired cheetah is almost helpless. So the mother moves slowly, saving her strength for one burst. She needs one short sprint at exactly the right moment, when the lioness stops, gets distracted, or puts the cub down. Meanwhile, the lioness keeps walking toward her pride with the cub in her jaws, but something's wrong. Suddenly, she spots 5 adult male cheetahs ahead of her. The cheetahs don't attack at once. First, they freeze and watch her. Because to a cheetah, a lion isn't prey, it's a dangerous and extremely formidable opponent. One cheetah has no chance against a lioness, but when they're in a group, that changes everything. The cheetahs still can't overpower her, but they can make her nervous. The lioness stops. Her mouth is occupied with the cub, so she's left without her main weapon. If the lioness wants to attack, she'll either have to clamp down harder on the cub or drop it on the ground. A group of cheetahs like this is rare, but it isn't random. Males sometimes stay together because surviving alone in the savannah is much harder. A single male can quickly lose a good territory. Other cheetahs, hyenas, or lions can push him out, but several males can hold a territory for longer. They can drive off rivals more easily and stay in places where there's more prey. Each male keeps to its own spot, but they're always adjusting their positions depending on what's happening. This leaves the prey with no clear direction to escape. It darts around in confusion, keeps turning, and eventually loses speed. That's usually the moment when cheetahs strike. Something very similar happens with the lioness. Actually, the males aren't even planning to get into a real fight with her. That would be too dangerous. But they don't need to beat her with strength. One wrong move from her is enough. The males begin spreading out to the sides. They stretch into a semicircle. One stays in front, 2 shift toward the flanks, and the others hang back. Their job is to keep their distance and stop the lioness from moving forward. But the lioness decides to take the risk and speeds up. Her goal is to reach the pride as quickly as possible. The cheetahs begin the chase, still avoiding a close approach. They're faster, so they can easily close the gap. But they don't make the final lunge. Getting too close is dangerous. One strike from the lioness's paw could break a cheetah's shoulder, ribs, or spine. The cheetahs run parallel to her, cut in from the sides, and force her to change direction and burn energy. The closer she gets to lion territory, the more cautious the cheetahs become. The scent of the pride and the tracks of adult lions sharply raise the risk. In the end, the cheetahs slow down first. They keep running after her for a few more seconds, but they no longer try to close the gap. Then one of them stops, then another. And the whole coalition gives up the chase. The lioness reaches her pride. For the cheetahs, this is a line they cannot cross. Meanwhile, the female cheetah continues following the trail. Suddenly, she feels her strength starting to fail. After giving birth, the mother has already lost part of her strength and fluids. Then came the hunt, the return to the den, the stress of finding her dead cubs, and the attempt to track the predator. The strain is too much for the mother, and she's forced to stop. The period after birth places an enormous energy burden on female cheetahs. During lactation, the body spends a great deal of energy producing milk, which means the need for food and the frequency of hunting rise sharply. During this time, females are essentially living at the edge of their limits. Add to that the need to move, defend territory, and respond to threats, and the strain becomes even greater. Suddenly, the ground begins to tremble. First, a few animals appear in the distance. Then more and more of them come into view. Wildebeest, zebras, gazelles. A massive herd moves across the savanna in search of fresh grass and water. It's part of the great annual migration of East Africa, where more than 1 million wildebeest and hundreds of thousands of other hoofed animals pass through the Serengeti and the Masai Mara. The herd breaks into broad streams. Some animals move ahead, others drift to the side. More run behind them, raising dust and trampling the old tracks into the ground. Within minutes, the place where the lioness passed is no longer the same. Hooves break up the dry soil. Dust rises into the air. The smell of grass mixes with sweat, fur, and the breath of hundreds of animals. New tracks fall over the old ones until the lioness's scent disappears completely. The wind carries it in different directions, and the hooves erase whatever was left on the ground. The female cheetah still knows that her cub was alive and that the lioness passed through here, but now the savanna has cut off her path. The trail is gone. Meanwhile, the lioness stops because she feels safer now. She's closer to the scent of her pride, closer to the bushes, closer to the shade. For the first few seconds, the lioness simply stands there, breathing hard and listening. After that burst of speed, her body is still working at its limit. Her heart is pumping blood, her muscles are exhausted, and her breathing is trying to bring oxygen back in and push the excess heat out. A lioness is not built for a long chase. Even when hunting, these animals try not to waste too much energy. They rely on short bursts instead, stalking, suddenly sprinting, and bringing the prey down. After such a sprint, a lion usually breathes heavily, slows down, looks for shade, or at least stops, because such a large body builds up heat very quickly. In big cats, cooling is closely tied to breathing and behavior. Lions have been observed panting after sudden bursts of activity. In hot weather, they may even begin breathing heavily while at rest. The lioness looks around, but the cheetahs are no longer trying to come closer, so she lowers her head and places the cub on the ground. The lioness keeps watching the area around her, but she's already resting now, lying down in the grass. The cheetah cub lies beside her. The female cheetah is no longer following a clear trail. She's recovered her strength, but now she's moving almost blindly. She chooses the direction where the last faint line of scent was leading and walks straight ahead, stopping from time to time to listen. The chances are slim. The lioness could have gone anywhere. She could have turned, disappeared into the grass, reached her pride, or simply carried the cub too far away. But after some time, the female cheetah notices movement ahead. The lioness is lying in the grass, and the cub is beside her. The mother freezes. She can't charge forward. The lioness is still between her and the cub. One strike from that paw could be fatal, so the mother lowers herself closer to the ground and waits. And then she notices another movement. Off to the side, at a distance, the same males are approaching. 5 adult cheetahs never left. They continued following the lioness, keeping their distance. For them, this was safer, not to fight, but to wait for a mistake. And now the lioness sees them too. She raises her head. First, she looks at one male, then she notices the second. Another one shifts to the side. The others stay farther back. They don't leave, but they don't attack either. They simply keep changing positions so the lioness cannot choose a clear direction to retreat. For the lioness, this is an uncomfortable situation. If she grabs the cub again, she won't be able to use her mouth. And that could put her in a much more vulnerable position. The lioness stands up. And now the female cheetah has a chance. The lioness notices the movement too late. The cheetah reaches a safe distance and places the cub on the ground. She checks him immediately, sniffing him, licking his face, gently nudging him with her nose. There's no response. The cub is no longer breathing. He was newborn, too weak to survive the lioness's bite, the long carry, the stress, and the final dash. The mother managed to recover his body, but she couldn't bring him back alive. Cheetah cub mortality is among the highest of all big cats. When a female cheetah leaves to hunt, her cubs remain alone in the den, and during the first weeks of life, this is the most dangerous time. Newborns can't run away or defend themselves yet, and they depend almost completely on how well their mother is hid in the den. Around them, lions, hyenas, leopards, and other predators move through the savanna, and to them, a cheetah cub is easy prey. Lions are especially dangerous. They kill cheetahs to remove competitors. Both predators hunt many of the same animals, and the fewer cheetahs there are in a territory, the more prey is left for the lions. So if a lion finds a cheetah and has a chance to kill it, it will. With cubs, it's even simpler. They have nothing to defend themselves against a lion or a lioness. Long-term observations in the Serengeti showed that around 72% of litters die before the cubs ever leave the den for the first time, and only about 5% of newborn cubs live long enough to become independent. The main cause is attacks by other predators, especially lions. So by the time the lioness found the den, the cubs had almost no chance left. Their mother was far away, and it was only sheer luck that allowed her to save even one of them.